Hello, Table Talk. It's wonderful to speak with you today. I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to speak with all of you. I hope everyone is feeling well, doing well, and staying safe with your mask, keeping your mask on and washing your hands and staying sanitized and being very careful. Hugs and kisses, invisible hugs and kisses. Like we always say, we can stay connected by giving us loving words and invisible hugs and kisses. Thank you so much for subscribing. Please share the videos and share our comments and our table talks, because that is good information that we can stay connected and we can stay strong. You keep me strong and I keep you strong with helping each other with good information and sharing our power, because once we are staying connected with information on how our positive antidotes and our mental muscle, how we execute our antidotes and staying together and keeping our mental challenges balanced throughout our daily living. And that's good. Those are good things. Thank you so much for the questions. I love the questions. Keep them coming in. I took the time to go through some of the questions, and I picked out one of the questions which is kind of relevant for today's atmosphere, which is really good for us, because it's okay. Sometimes when we talk about our mental challenges and we talk about what's going on in our lives, and let's talk about society as well. But we can go ahead and put that in there too, because it affects our thinking and affects the way we see things, and it affects the way we respond to things. And we always want to respond positively, and we definitely do not want to have irresponsible responses. So we want to stop and take a self-assessment of how we respond to things. So having those questions are absolutely wonderful. Keep those questions coming. So one of our members just wanted to have just a simple question, and the question was, how do I feel about what's going on today? So I appreciate the question. Thank you so much for the question. And I'm just going to let my hair down and just talk about how do I feel about what's going on today. Number one, I'm not happy about it. It's so sad. It's so hurtful. I feel like I'm operating with empty hands, so to speak. Like I see things, but I just can't get a handle on how to help. So when you're dealing with mental challenges, you sometimes get discombobulated and you get vertigo, because there's so much stuff going around. You don't know which direction to go and where can you place yourself to be a effective person. So, but I will say this. I wrote this down because sometimes when you want to respond to something, you want to respond so quickly and you want to respond with anxiety. But the first thing that came to my mind is what I wrote down. And it's, don't let your pain answer the question for you. Don't let your pain answer the question for you. Because if you allow your pain to answer the question for you, the response will be painful. And that is not the goal when you're trying to have a positive response. Your positive response has to come from a positive place. And coming from a positive place, it takes time to create that positive thought because you're dealing with a negative surrounding. So the first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to operate from a positive place. So I stopped, I did a self-assessment, and I started to ask myself the right questions. It's not about the right and the wrong. It's about where do I place myself so I can be effective. Now, when you think of proper placement, then you stop thinking of sides. Which side do I belong on? When you think of proper placement, you start to think of effectiveness. Then you remove that portion of clique. Do I belong in this clique or do I belong in this clique? It's not about cliques. It's not about who's my favorite. It's not, and this is my thinking from a patient's point of view. I don't want to be in this gang or that gang so I can be accepted. It's not that thinking. It's how can I be effective in the proper placement where I place myself. Because if I answer or have a response to society's behaviors, I will respond out of pain. Then my response is going to be painful. So, I don't want to have a painful response. Let's not do that. Let's stop, let's evaluate, and let's put positive antidotes that are effective. Now, when I say effective, I mean, what am I going to change with my response? Because I'm absolutely not going to waste my time. I don't want to waste my time. I want to change something. I want to make the bad situation not come back ever again. So that means that's some work I have to do. That means there's some people I have to talk to. That means I'm going to have to write down some good stuff. That means I'm going to have to sit in front of some leaders. And that means I'm going to have to partner. And it doesn't matter the partner as long as the outcome is effective. Now, I'm reiterating effectiveness because effectiveness means I can partner with someone I'm not happy with as long as the outcome is effective. And keep in mind, there is no finish line. It's only progress. That people think, oh, we're going to get there and it's going to be the finish line and then that's it. And I don't have to visit this no more. It's going to always be another challenge of some level that you have to tackle. It's just a new atmosphere of challenge, a new atmosphere of hurt that's they just put a twist to it that you have to tackle on another level. So it's just progress. You get a new law in and you start to execute that law, and then there's something else that you have to get a new law in on that level, maybe 5 years down the line. So it's something that you should have a clear understanding on when you're saying being effective and not operating out of an anger stance. When you operate from an anger stance, then you're letting the atmosphere dictate how you respond to society's behaviors. And you don't want to do that, because everything, if that's the case, everything makes me upset. Then, oh my goodness, then I'm going to be responding willy-nilly all day long. And that's not effective. We want to be effective, because effective means my children and my grandchildren get to reap the benefits of my effectiveness. And your effectiveness can be on any level. As a citizen of your city, you can be in a non-for-profit community program, and you can be effective on that level. You can create a community program and be effective on that level. You can be a part of a CAPS program, which is one of your community policing programs, and be effective on that program. It's a lot of things that you can do besides operate from an angry place. So then for me, I want to, for the society, to answer that question, coming from that kind of an atmosphere in today's atmosphere, dealing with this repetitive behavior, I'm going to be effective. That means I want to sit down with my mayor. I want to sit down with my governor. I want to sit down with my neighborhood community. I want to sit down with whoever I want to sit down that makes changes and know how to talk to contacts that can make changes, like superintendents in the police department, or like the mayor and the governor, and then let's go to the state level. Let's get in the faces, and let's sit down and start talking to the point where change is being made. Because change is not going to be made with anger. I'll say that much, and I'll tell you that much. Well, change is not going to be made with anger, but change will be made when you start putting voting to the test, and you start being committed to voting the wrong people out and the right people in. Then they will see how serious you mean and how committed you are to your community and to your cities. Then you will absolutely have their ear. So then for that question, how do I feel about society's atmosphere? I'm not happy about it. I think it's a bad thing. I think it's trying to divide us and tear us apart. And I think we should do the opposite. I think we should lock arms and stay connected and love on each other and care for each other and take care of each other, and make sure we send a message of togetherness, and we send a message that we will not be afraid and separated just because of your terrible behaviors. And we're going to go inside your unions, and we're going to make sure change is made, and we're going to make sure commitments are made, and we're going to make sure things are solid for the people. As long as we keep reminding you that the things you do are for the people. We pay our taxes so you can take care of the people. So yes, I'm not happy about the atmosphere, but my antidote to respond to the atmosphere is not out of fear. It's going to be out of being effective. So let's just be effective. Let's stay together. Let's stay connected. And let's get into the faces of our leaders. And let's keep them committed to us, because that's what they're supposed to do. Thank you so much for the question. Keep the questions coming in. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Until then, stay healthy.